thought you might like to know how I got to where I'm at today. We became Royal Crown Diamond just a couple months after the last compensation plan. Up until then, we were at the top level always. With the new plan, we were a little off because we had 3 legs that weren't quite at the qualification of 35,000. And so we had to build up one of them, and as it is now, all 3 are that. So we have a couple of insurance legs, you could say. Currently, we have almost 300,000 distributors around the world. You are part of that.
Did you say 300,000 or
300,000.
3,000?
Our volume is around 15 million each and every month. Not a bad volume.
Do they know what that is in Australian dollars? About 24 million Australian dollars.
Yeah, just a little group. And it didn't start by wanting to build a business. Had an experience, and I wanted to share my passion. And interestingly enough, as you share your passion, other people share your passion, and it grows. And for the first, about 2 years, I did 10 introductory lectures a month. And what was cool about that is I had them all open to the public. I would do occasionally some other classes that weren't open to the public, but I made sure I always had 10 that were open to the public. And I had 8 of them were pretty easy because I had a health food store that I made a deal with. I said, okay, I'll do the classes here. Anyone that comes in off the street is yours. And we announced them, and so I had afternoon and evening classes at the health food store. And the biggest thing with building a business is consistency and communication. Ultimately, everyone will be successful in network marketing if they stay consistent. The majority of people that are frustrated is because they're kind of like helicopters. They're up here and they swoop down and they do a little bit and they go off on tangents, and they're not consistent. Consistency is huge. I used to have people sign a contract. Like Kathy Farmer, agreed to do so many hours per week. It does not matter of the number of hours. It just needs to be the same each and every week. I don't want 20 hours one week and 1 hour the next. And the reason being is because 20 hours might burn you out. A lot of people it doesn't, but 20 hours might burn you out. And the week that you do one, people feel lost and lonely in your organization. You want consistency. So you agree whatever amount of time that you feel that you can comfortably commit to. You can always put a little more in, but you have a contract with yourself. It's not with anyone else. It's with yourself to put so much time in each and every week. And then you want to do 50% of your time finding new business, and 50% that you're going to be supporting who you already have. Who in here is brand new? It's exciting time to start right now. Right now, we are listed as the #1 company in the world in momentum. It means that the energy is there. Tap into it. We're getting to a place where people are understanding that there's something about essential oils. That's powerful. And of course, our supplements have essential oils in them. We are unique in our seed to seal promise. We have the farms. Why we just developed a helichrysum farm recently is because there was an issue with finding helichrysum in the world. So that's not a problem. Let's buy a farm. Helichrysum, we're the first, that's a really cool sounding word. We're the first to domesticate helichrysum because helichrysum grows in rock. So we have a rock crusher and we create this like rock field to grow the helichrysum. It's very cool. And because we have the best distilling in the world, even the people that Wildcraft are, more and more of them are bringing their product to us to distill. We might end up having some of the only helichrysum in the world. Yeah, pretty darn cool. Helichrysum is an awesome oil. If we're talking about emotions, helichrysum unlocks deep-seated anger. What do you think might be useful about that if you've got someone that's been tied into some old memory that they can't seem to get past? Helichrysum could be really powerful. Using it on the, let's say, the mom and dad point and the rejection point, if they're feeling upset about mom and dad. Maybe they were given up for adoption. I was given up for adoption. And I will tell you, no matter how good your adopted parent is, there is still a feeling of rejection. I did not have a great experience, so there was more so. But there's black spruce, our valor. We couldn't get black spruce, so what did we do? Buy a farm. So we would have, in fact, we will probably never run out of black spruce because we bought a big enough farm for that. And it's very, very exciting. Nobody does what we do. Gary is so committed to make sure that you have the best quality products. And that's the stuff that we want to share with others. We want to let them know, and we want them to have an experience. That means you give them a packet of Ningxia Red and have them drink it in front of you. Don't just hand somebody a packet and expect them to drink it. 2 weeks later, you may say, well, how did that, they may still have it just sitting there. And you want them to drink it in front of you. And in fact, have them hold some of it in their mouth so that they can actually feel that energy. There's so much good stuff in Ningxia Red that you feel it. It absorbs. You feel it. That's pretty darn good. If you're passing around an oil like RC, a couple drops of RC, rub the hands together. Wow, RC does something. You don't have to tell them what it does. Just let them have an experience. If they were hiking earlier in the day and their muscles are a little tight, have them put on a little Idaho balsam fir, a little wintergreen, something like that. Let them feel the difference. We have things that people can tell work like that. I don't know if they could hear me. Like that. We have instant results. And if you're talking to somebody on the phone, how are you going to get them to have an experience? If you can get them to you, that's one way. You can send them something. You can direct them to websites. If you're directing them to websites, direct them to at least 3 or Young Living site at proper. The reason being that keeps you compliant. We want people to do their own research on product. And you want to follow up. If you're talking to somebody, I'll give you an example. We were in a Mexican restaurant. Day before yesterday, right? Day before yesterday. Yay, we know when. And the woman who was our waitress was really excited about the idea of what we were doing. And in fact, she gave us her why, because we all do things for a reason. And if you listen, people will tell you their why. And she gave us her why. She wants to go to the United States.
She loved your accent.
Yes, loved my accent. Yeah, talked about, I want to go to the United States. She didn't say she wanted to live there. She just wanted to see the United States. So that's her why. And she was very interested in the idea of essential oils. So we gave her information, and then we got her information. How many times have you given somebody a card without collecting their information? Me, wrong, not good. Always get their info, because in all likelihood, life gets in the way with them. And it's not their business yet. It's not their focus yet. But you may remind them that they were interested. With us, we'll remind her of her why. Alan may call them up, or who did you give the info to? Somebody? Okay.
Which I think
have
she's looking for it right now.
right, probably.
Oh,
Yeah. And you call them up and saying, well, the Americans just went back home and they asked us to check in on you and find out what evening you're available to come. There's classes here and classes here. What works best for you? If at all possible, give them just 2 choices. You want them to come to an event. You know, when you come to an event, you can have more than just a single experience. So they hear from other people too. Think about, well, what did you guys talk about when you were at recess? Oh, this oil smelled so good. Or, you know, I tried such and such oil. Oh, it was just amazing. And, you know, I've been using such and such supplement and I'm really thrilled about the results. You know, you're sharing, and other people are assisting you in you building a business because they all have had experiences. And they're eager to share those, as we all are. If you saw a movie that you loved, don't you want to tell everybody? Of course. It's the same thing with this. We want to tell people, but we want to go one step further. We want to tell them what we'd like to see them do. I would like to see you doing 2 to 3 ounces of Ningxia Red a day. I think you'll find it of great benefit. You're giving them something specific. People are used to everybody telling them specifically what to do. Take such and such for this length of time, do this, you know, fill out this paperwork, do that, or whatever. It's very different than sometimes how we approach things. You want to ask them, do you want to get things right this second, or should we set it up so it comes next week? Do you want to start first with oils or Ningxia Red? We have 2 great starter kits. What do you have here, guys? Your premium starter kits. The 2 kits? We have 2 great starter kits. If you prefer starting with the juice, that's a great way to start. If you choose to start with the oils first, that's also a great way. Which one would you like to? People respond to that. If you just kind of wishy-washy, you want to buy something? Do you think there's any excitement there? If you're coming from your heart and you know what you have will benefit them, tell them. Pretend that you're their great aunt that you are assisting. Or your mom. Mom, I want you to drink 4 ounces of Ningxia Red a day. You'd tell her that, wouldn't you? Mom, you should be using this oil. And you know what? We tell other people the same way. They want to hear what they should do because they don't have the same knowledge that you have. So I did 10 introductory lectures a month for a period of 2 years. In the 2-year time frame, I still have these like little insects, like every so often touching me. It's like somebody poking me. You know, stop. And I did those. Sometimes I was the only one there. It doesn't matter. People knew where to find me. They knew where to bring somebody. They knew where to bring their questions. They knew where, if they needed a drop of oil and their oils hadn't come in, they could swing by and get a drop of oil. And then, of course, when they came, they'd ask questions. Oh, we're going to...
I'm just going to give you something from your insects.
Very good, thank you.
So this is a very good experiment.
Ah.
Here, some clove.
Oh, good. Thank you.
So that's the clove oil.
Oops.
And the frozen soap. And it's the best insects repellent.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, and it's just weird. It's like kept going like for the same spot. Like, no. Yeah. Yeah. That's not a tender spot. You don't want to nibble on that spot. And I don't think they really wanted to nibble as much as just land there. I smell good, you know? If you're in an elevator guess what? You have oils on you, you're affecting all the people in the elevator. You're raising everybody's frequency. How many in here have ever had somebody come up to and say, what are you wearing? You smell so good. That's called attracting a business. It's pretty amazing. This is a business that does not seem like a business. This is a business that's just a plain joy. We do this whether we got paid or not. And it's awesome that you know that you can go anywhere in the world. Like we have that, well, hello. It says they want some oils too. It's awesome to know that we have friends all over the world. And so for us, we'll go somewhere and it's tax deductible. That's very cool. And then we call people like Linda and Alan and say, we're going to come to your neck of the woods, and go ahead and use us. And then Linda schedule us all over the place, day after day. No break. No, we don't run breaks anyway. No recess. But the whole idea is it doesn't feel like work. You're seeing friends that you already know and friends that you haven't met yet all over the world. It's an awesome feeling. And you know you're improving people's lives. How would you like somebody to call you up and say, Young Living changed their life? It's amazing. It's just absolutely amazing. You just feel like you're ready to burst with joy. And how do you think you'd feel if you found out your next door neighbor that you didn't want to bother ended up having a struggle of some sort or another that you might have been able to assist them with? And you hadn't said anything to them. You know, I really feel that we have a responsibility to share. Gary Young sleeps 4 hours a night. Sleeps 4 hours a night because he thinks that it's very important to get the word out. He wants to see essential oils in every single home in the world because we're at a time frame. We need this frequency. We need this energy. And we need to make sure everybody knows it's possible. You know, my husband and I, every morning we wake up and we put oils on each other. Oh, yeah. And I won't get too weird on that, but we put oil. Okay. Yeah, he tried to share with that on that one. I was already just annoyed. He went and was talking to everybody for an hour and a half last night when all I heard was he was going out for a walk. So I thought he got lost. He didn't have his phone with. So I was like, okay, fine. And then he comes back in and goes, come out to the pool with me. Let's take a swim. No. Don't want to swim now? You blew it. They're all so excited. My daughter raises cockatiels and raised them since she was 12. She would go nuts here. The cockatoos and cockatiels are such cool birds.
Even the wild ones know how to talk though. I've had actually puppies just say hello to you.
Yeah, come here. Come up here. We're talking business. Come up here. Oh, you're good. They're just, yeah, they're awesome. And they're so social. We were at Tasmanian Zoo and we felt so sad for this one. He was like in jail. He'd been with a family for 3 years and then they abandoned him at the zoo. And so when we were talking to him, he was just like so happy. And every time he started to walk away, it was like, get back here right now, get back here right now. He didn't say it, he just squawked to high heaven. And then it was like hanging upside down and dancing and, you know, I'll do anything for you. Oh yeah, they're really sweet. But it's really important you share. Alan, I'm going to ask you to share with him the importance of the residual income. This is a business, by the way. There's no risk involved. If you want a franchise, what do you think it'd cost you? Yeah, to $1 million. Tons of money. And are you guaranteed to be successful? What's the statistics out? 80% disappear in 5 years. That's painful. And with Young Living, your investment is minimal. $150 to get started, somewhere around there. And you're assisting your own health and other people's health. It's really powerful. I want Alan to share a little bit about what a residual income is, because he explained it way more better than me. I speak such good English doing this stuff, I'll tell you. He explained it so well that I thought, you know, that's an awesome way to explain it, because residual income for most people is the interest we get from a bank account. So I'll turn it over to Alan.
Kathy doesn't need to know about it because she just does it. It just happens. She doesn't have to talk about it. When I say people talk about it, doesn't often happen. That goes for blokes, you know, when they're in the pub talking about, you know, that means they're not getting it. You just got it, did you?
Yeah.
Something like. So who here, apart from Young Living people, have a residual income? 1, 2, 3. Okay, outside of Young Living, I'm talking about. So you know what it takes to have a residual income. There's a lot of money, isn't it, to have a residual income? How much money do you need? Well, I'll put it to you. How much money do you need to survive quite comfortably in Australia every year? What would it be? What's a figure?
80,000.
Any advances on 80,000? How much? 200,000? Okay, we're having a few nods. Sorry, Patrick, we've gone up from 80. So we're all happy with 200? Who would like $200,000 a year coming in every year? Okay, so let's work out how much money you need to get $200,000 a year. What sort of a business do you need to get a $200,000 a year income? A stressful business, yes. And Julia should know because she's a banker and she probably deals with people with these issues all day, every day, don't you? Everybody would love a residual income and they'd probably hassle you at the bank and say, well, why don't you give us more interest? So what's the standard interest rate on 100 grand in the bank at the moment? About now. 2.5? Okay, 2%. Let's say 2.5. Make it easy figures. 3%? Okay, let's stick at 2.5 because it's easy figures. Because it's just a quarter of the whole lot. So we've got a $200,000 a year income. That's going to buy you, what's it cost to live every year? Just to simply survive. Well, how much would you spend? 80, yeah, I think what Patrick said before was about right with what you actually spend. It's about 80 grand a year. So out of your 200, you're left with 120. Now, is that after tax or before tax, that 200? After tax. Oh, so I've got it before tax.
Are we saying 200,000 a year?
Yeah, and is that after tax that we've got that $200,000 a year or before tax?
That's before tax. Surely.
Okay.
So live comfortably in Sydney.
Comfortably, I mean.
Yeah, it depends on the definition.
Well, no. Well, comfortably, I mean you can buy yourself a new car every 5 years because your car's going to wear out.
Yeah.
You want to be able to have a new car and keep updated because you don't want to just drive around old jalopy because they get rather uncomfortable. You want to be able to have good money to be able to pay your house off, or maybe you own your house. Own your house is more advantageous.
Okay, then it's after tax.
Okay. All right. So now we're getting, yes, that's right. It's got to be after tax, right? So how much money do you have in your business after tax? Because if you have money sitting in a bank, you've still got to pay tax on that money. So you've got $200,000 a year after tax. So what does that mean before tax?
It's like 350,000.
You're looking at about 350,000.
Yeah.
Starting to get a bit outrageous, isn't it? And unrealistic. So who has that money? Well, what careers? Doctors, okay? But they've got huge insurance bills. A doctor can earn 350 or 400 grand a year, but he's got a $250,000 a year insurance bill. Okay, so it's not that great. A pilot working for Qantas, a captain could bring in 270 a year, but he's probably got AIDS. How's that work? Airman's International Divorce Syndrome. So that's not a very good industry to be in either, is it? Okay. What else? Lawyer? Stressful. What else? Accountant? A dentist? Looking down holes all day, every day?
Dentists, by the way, have the highest suicide rate.
Yeah. So how many of us want to be any of them? No, none of them. Okay, so what money does, to get $200,000 a year in Young Living, what do you have to do?
Talk to people. Talk to people.
Talk to people. So what is that? Let's have a look. Go back to that 200,000 a year first. How much money do you have to have in the bank for that? Let's say you've got $1 million invested. $1 million on 10% is 100,000. On 5% is 50,000. On 2.5, it's 25,000. $1 million in the bank gives you $25,000 a year. That sucks. Well, what rank is $25,000 a year? What rank is that? That's silver. But it's silver, right? Now, when you said below poverty line, that is below poverty line if you're working your butt off for a living and getting that money. But if that's a residual income, you have that money, $1 million sitting in a bank, you haven't had to sit in traffic. You haven't had to go to work, have you? It's just been sitting in the bank. And that's been accumulating interest. You didn't have to work for it. It just was there. $1 million. Who's got $1 million in the bank sitting there doing nothing? Anyone? Oh, not many people. You probably don't know many people with that either. There's a lot out there. You might know and might not. So now, a silver income. Who here has a silver or above income? Pull up your hand. There's a few here. So what's your business worth? Let's pick an average silver of, well, you need 10,000 points to be silver. By the time you get to silver, would I be pretty fair to say you've got 15,000 points? Yeah? By the time you get to silver. 15,000 points is worth about 24,000 Australian dollars every month. Times 10 is 240,000 plus another bit. 30, what'd you say?
2,400. 2,400.
You said 24,000.
Oh, sorry, 24.
Yeah.
No, hang on. No. 24,000 is what you would get after 10 months. And then add that extra little bit for the 12. So $27,000 a year is your income. So what's that equivalent to have in the bank? Yeah. Do you look at your business and it's that important and that big? How many people have $1 million businesses? They've usually got a nice car and they've got a briefcase and they're stressed to the max. Like, yeah, okay, you can be a bit stressed, but that income comes in whether you're working another job or you're working this job. Still keeps coming.
What does, this might be a silly question, but what does 10,000 points look like? How many people under you would you need to have?
10,000 points, well, who's got 10,000? Who would have 10,000 here? Just give me a figure. No, 10,000 PV. No, OGV, yeah. So you got your silver. 80 to 150 people.
80 people on.
Yeah. Now, do you have to know those people, by the way? This is just a sidetrack. No. You only need to know 3 people. You need to know 3 warm market, brother, sister, cousin, auntie, friend, neighbour, whatever. And then you make sure that person tells 3 of their warm people. And that's your business. That's what you do. Okay? That can get you to silver. It can get you to have an equivalent of $1 million sitting in the bank, which a lot of you here have that equivalent already. You have got a valuable, valuable business, right? Halve that to say executive. You got $50,000, sorry, $500,000 sitting in the bank, but you don't realize it because you're too busy focusing on something that's actually not bringing you in that residual income. Keep doing your job that keeps giving you some money because you have to keep the lights on, but this is your focus. You end up like this.
15 million, well, maybe $15 million volume every month, almost 300,000 distributors.
Now, 15 million a month is 24 million Australian dollars a month. 240 million a year, like $260 million a year, is the oil turnover. That's what a Fortune 500 company just here. Just here, right here. Yes.
No, but it is really interesting. We went to GoPro, which is Eric Worre. You may be familiar with the books and stuff. And by the way, we have tickets to GoPro for 25 people, and there will be some set aside for Team Simpson. So you need to know that. Anyway, at GoPro, we were invited, yes, Las Vegas, which is a blast anyway. We were invited to be at the 6-figure income earners, and because we were over 7-figure income earners, we were invited for free. What can we say?
Not to mention they get free cruises,
Free all kinds of
all
stuff,
sorts of stuff for free.
right?
You think the people with no money want to get the free stuff, not the people with money. It's the opposite.
Because you see, when you have a little, they know that you will talk to people and share your experiences.
So how much is, what does silver start at? What's the average income? Oh, by the way, did you all realize, and I hope you put your thinking caps on and start focusing a little bit harder, especially for Sydney. Sydney is a huge, wide open market just waiting for...
It's a baby market.
Oh, man, just waiting for a diamond to appear. A silver is going to start now at about, before it was 8, it's about probably 1,000 to 1,100 now. And I'm talking minimums, okay? A silver can then go to about $3,000 or 3,500 as a silver every month. What's that worth in your bank? Remember? Don't look at this like it's just a little figure. This is an enormous figure that you can keep working in your normal job and this just comes in. You don't have to keep working that one. Sure, you got to make phone calls, you got to talk to people, you got to be friendly, and you got to do a little bit extra effort, but I'll tell you, it is worth it in the end. Okay?
This is not the end. Stop saying worth it in the end. I mean, it's like, because, yeah,
crazy.
It's the whole idea is now it's just, it's all
Just
fun.
starting.
We could choose to sit on our bums and do nothing, but we have so much fun. This is not work. This is passion. This is a blast. This is coming to see you guys and cheering you on as you walk across the stage at convention with your new rank. Got to come to convention.
And they ought to go and visit Noah.
Yes.
You ought to
yes.
visit Noah in Colorado. You hear him laughing? You know why they call him Noah? And he regrets he ever told me this because I'm telling everyone.
Yeah.
Because he buys 2 of everything. 2 tractors, 2 farms, 2 trucks, 2 pickups, 2 fifth wheelers, 2 motorhomes, 2, only 1 wife, but 2 of everything else. So now back to our story. What's gold? Gold income was starting at 3.5, but it's now going to be about 4.2. as gold. Can you live on $1,000 a week? Now, anybody that leaves here today and goes back to their normal Monday. I hate Mondays. Someone should blame Mondays up. You're laughing because you feel that.
Well, you know people, if it's not you, that think exactly that.
We don't have that. We don't have I hate Mondays. We love Mondays because everyone goes back to work and we get the roads for free. No, not quite. But that, and we hate holidays because everything's packed. Everyone goes back to work, kids go back to school, and it's back to normal. Where everyone else loves holidays.
We travel and do classes all over and get enough miles that we can bring relatives and friends in for free on our miles. That's a blast.
Yes.
So, the average income you're talking about for the different ranks, I've looked up, try and find out what the averages are, and I can only get figures for the United States. So
Yeah.
I don't know the figures you're going on.
No, yeah, they're converted. Yeah.
The ones for the United States is because the U.S. requires a average income statement to be put out once every 2 years. So there'll be one that'll be coming out for 2015. And how they find it out is by interviewing those at different ranks, and we tell them how many hours we put in per week. And that's the only thing that they really need to question us. All the rest, they have the information.
So it's the same amount, have you just converted to Australian dollars? It transfers over?
Yeah, the only thing that's different is they ask us how many hours per week we put in.
Yeah. It's a difficult conversion, but because we've been doing it for so long and we see it all the time and we talk a lot to people and we know what they're actually earning, we can do a really good guesstimate, and we're pretty darn accurate. Plus, Oily Tools gives you a good example as well, but you've got to change the peg rate in the program to give you Australia. Okay, so
Oily Tools is awesome, by the
great
way.
program to have. Oily Tools.
Oilytools.com.
It's an app on your phone, yeah. And it tells you how much money you're making.
And
as the month
very,
rolls on.
very accurate.
Yeah. So where you want to strive for straight away, silver's nice, but gold is one you need to strive to. How many golds are in Australia? Yeah, probably. How many, Lynn, do you reckon? Ron reckons 10? What would it be? Would it be 10? 8? There's not many. Is there room for more?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Absolutely. Silvers, there's probably what? Maybe 30 silvers in Australia. How many diamonds, how many platinums are there? 2 platinums. Yeah, okay. Okay. Janet Knight and our daughter Alina. How many diamonds are there? 2. Us and Artemis. Yeah. Artemis and us. That's it. Well, yes. Artemis crown diamond, yeah. But I mean, still passing that diamond ring. And that's it. So now
who's going to be the first Royal Crown Diamond? Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
Actually, not duh. Someone could just completely blast over the top of us.
Oh, yeah.
And we would be cheering you on. There's one there. We'll cheer you on. So what's the platinum pay start at? Oh, gold goes from 4,000 a month up to, well, you can get up to, well, there is someone in Australia who's probably got about 30 grand a month as gold. Okay, so it's endless because it depends on how many generations, which are the silvers in your organisation, that actually gives you the higher incomes.
It's the structure. And I'll say a little bit about structure toward the end.
And then we got diamonds start at about $15,000 a month. And that can go up to, sorry? Diamonds start at 15 a month, and that can go up easy to 100 a month. Depends again how big the structure of your business is. Crown diamonds start at 50 a month and can go up 150 up from that. And Royals start at about 100 grand a month. Now, convert that to Australian, probably 130 grand a month. $130,000 a month you would start as a Royal Crown Diamond. Okay? Now, some of the big and older MLM companies around, to give you an idea of what Young Living is going to get to and overtake, are earning $1.3 million a month. And that's Amway people, top earners, which are on the slide, they're still on $1.3 million a month. So we're not talking about, when you talk to your friends, you're not talking about a little piddly little oil bottle that's going to give you 10, 20 cents or $1 if you sell at retail. Yeah, forget the retail. Get people connected. Give them the love that you experience in the oils. It's only you teaching 3 people, and do it 3 times. That's as simple as it gets. And all of this is just waiting for you. And it literally is just waiting for you. So when you leave here today, don't go back to the ways you were before. Supercharge them. Just find 3 friends. If you've already got 3 people in your organisation, a lot of you probably have, find someone that doesn't have 3 people in their organisation. There's so many competitions running at the moment. You know, we've got France happening next year. You can go to France with us again.
I know, what a sacrifice.
Paris, the Rhone, down the river, all the way to Provence, back to the farm. That I do love doing. Go back to the Provence, Simeon lavender farm, and seeing einkorn grown. That is amazing.
They know who's here in the country, don't they? Nicholas?
Nicholas from the farm. He's here at the moment. Okay? Brilliant speaker. I hope you're going to it, because if you're building a business and you're going to actually spread this information far and wide to get to these positions that you can actually spend full time with Young Living, you need to come to these meetings. You need to support them. Young Living spends a lot of time and effort to get these meetings running, to bring people out here. Every single eye here at the moment should be at these meetings in Sydney. They're running all over Australia. Sorry? Someone...
Can I ask a quick question just about...
Can I give you a quick answer too?
Yeah. Online, because obviously Young Living is all about relationships and all about maintaining those relationships. And I've seen a few sites like the Lemon Droppers that, you know, have that, you know, it's obviously not that personal contact because people are coming to the website somehow.
They are constantly having to replace people.
Right.
And so that model only works temporarily. And then there's a whole group of people that feel like they're orphans. And then other people end up training them, or they drop off. And then they're available for you to scoop up, because it is relationship business.
And is that because they're less likely to start a business and more likely to just be a wholesale customer?
No, it's more they get excited for a little bit, they get involved, but there isn't that personal contact. There isn't someone checking up on. They don't know who they can call. A lot of these people that are there's people that sign up, 1,000 people first level. I never went wider than I could support first level. And then I looked at teams. So the whole idea is, when I talked about, that I say something about structure, it's all about keeping that solidity. And I've gone through like 10 compensation plan changes, survived them all. The reason being is because it's the same philosophy no matter what the compensation plan was. I never worked the plan. I worked with people. Little different. You did the foundation. Foundation is the people you bring in. You work with them to assist them in getting their foundation and growth. You start seeing who are the leaders. You start seeing if you run into somebody then that wants to get involved, and you may be limited in the amount of time you personally have, you make sure they're on a team that will assist them. And it grows that way. Those other type of bloggers that sign up a ton of people, I will tell you, because I hear it all the time, they complain because they have people in their organizations complaining like crazy because they don't get support. We're a relationship business. We are a family. And that's what makes strength. I have virtually everybody I ever signed up because they all felt that there was a foundation there. We travel all over the world. That in itself is like so cool. And we have people that they know that if nothing else, even if I'm on the other side of the world, which I am now, that they can Facebook message me or text me or email me, and we'll get back to them. But I also taught everybody in my organization to have the same kind of attitude. I think that you all have a responsibility to ensure that everybody in your organization is trained. Not like a dog trained, but like people trained. And then if they all have that attitude, guess what? There will be so much overlap. There'll be so much support. There won't be anybody sitting out there thinking that they're alone. You have something to add to that one?
Well,
Team Young Living.
Well, yeah. And Team Simpson, I really do hope that we are all training and, and teaching each other, because you can't go too wide. You can only teach the people that you got involved. Otherwise, it becomes too.
Well, you know, so.
Must have swallowed a fly. Does that mean shut up?
No, it's very interesting though that
Thanks, Charlie.
through the years, there was a guy who went 1,000 wide around the time that I was building, and people complained about him right and left. And that organization gets a very, because he's no longer has that organization, he sold it. That organization gets a very, very big paycheck. But guess what? It's really not growing the same way and consistently because there's so much fall off, because you cannot support 1,000 people first level. There's not enough time in the day. But you can support 300,000 people with a team of leadership. That's the difference.
Excuse me, sorry. What would you say would be a good size foundation?
However you're comfortable. Mine was, I only go 16 wide. That's it.
You grow according to the rank you're going for. If you're going for silver, you have to have a minimum of 2 people in the front line and a third one waiting. As soon as you get going to gold, you're going to have those 3 people and a 4th one waiting. Platinum, 4 people and a 5th one waiting. Diamond, 5 with a 6th one waiting. And that's across the front. So it doesn't matter if that person across the front doesn't do anything.
Oh yeah, I have 2 legs at the first level. Doesn't do anything.
Makes no difference.
You look at within your organization who is working. You keep talking to the people that you brought in, but it's somebody they signed up, brought somebody in. I'll mention your line. Your line is the line you're in is my biggest organization. It's in the millions. My first level doesn't do anything. She does her 100. She doesn't even make executive, but she's very happy with her little check, which is not so little. And then the second level is a platinum. He became a platinum and started growing when one day I called him up and said, Carl, are you aware that if you ordered another $25, you'd make this other rank? Really? There's a business here? I mean, if his sponsor didn't treat it like a business, she didn't notice it. You want to study your organization. You want to see what's going on. After that, he started working it. The third level was the first person that really worked it. That was Rita Anderson. And Rita signed up Julie Ferguson.
Well, part of us, those 2 lovely ladies, and you meet them one day.
And then Julie signed up Dottie Nonman.
Another one.
Yeah.
Wonderful lady.
And then the rest is all in Australia. That group.
And when you say a little tech from someone that didn't do anything, we have a person just one level above us. If she doesn't do 100 points, she can miss out on about $5,000 every single one. Because there's the person there, and then there's this person, and underneath this person, there's no one else, just us. A diamond structure. One person, and then a diamond structure. That's it. She doesn't have anyone else on the front, just us. So all she has to do is 100 points, and she gets a $5,000 check. That's pretty nice, isn't it? But
you're in an awesome organization. And I will tell you, your organization has the most warmth of spirit and spirituality of majority of people in Young Living. And Young Living has some awesome, awesome people. But we're the best.
biased.
It's going, wait a minute, you've got oils on your hands. What's that all about?
That's an Indian beetle.
My daughter is a good example of somebody that she always stayed at Silver, and nice little itty bitty check. She's up to almost 6,000 at Silver because she had one person 3 levels down who quit her regular job, decided to work at full time, is now 20,000 away from Diamond. And she went from nothing, occasionally making silver, to platinum in less than a year. And she'd been signed up for like 10 years. You can't look at somebody and say, oh, they will do it, they won't do it. This person says that they will do it. With support, anybody does it. And often I found the ones that brag the most don't do crap. And then the one that's just out there catches the vision, they just soar. So we just share, and we share from our hearts. As long as you're in that place, you're never going to step on people's toes. It's the sincerity. You guys have a couple of quick questions for either one of us?
Keep business questions, since this is the business section.
Yes.
You know what happens? Because we're all healers and looking for health tips and that.
They aren't healers because we're not healers.
It always goes back to those subjects. So any business questions?
Yes.
I'm only pretty brand new, so
There's not an only here.
You're here. That's really important.
Right.
I'm from Middle Queensland.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming and giving me some of your time.
It's probably I can find answers to it. It's too far. I've actually got another business as well, which is multi-level marketing business. So we're handing this is the one I didn't want to do. When I went to a meeting so I could say I've been on my own, I've worked it out, I'm not coming back. And I went to this meeting, there was huge, awful people. I thought I'd be there on my own, and I picked a seat, not the one somebody told me, and my upline were on that seat. I hadn't actually met them. They were on that road. So, yeah, it sort of fit off from there. That's my when we order something, when we sell something, we have to actually speak about.
So you're doing a lot of retailing of the oils? Well, GST is on it, and if it's a profit you're making, then you would have to have an accountant to sort it out, and then you claim your GST back with whatever you buy. But
Sorry, what's
Yeah, I've never had to worry about GST because I never get into that side of it. Never have and never will actually want to retail oils. Sorry? Well, you can register for GST. You register for GST once you're earning more than, say, what is it, 80,000 a year? 70? You could do that too, yeah. So get to goals and you're going to have to do something. That's for sure.
Well, and I will tell you, just so you know, it's very challenging to work two companies because there's a lack of focus there. And most of the people I know that were working in other companies end up selling that because Young Living is so lucrative and there's virtually no work involved. It's all pleasurable. So I just passed that one along. Mm-hmm. Yes.
What
Olaf.
are your current overheads in your $1 million business, like $250 million business?
Well, we like to travel all over the world, so we create things to spend our money on that are a lot of fun. Would we have to? No. We could get by on a cell phone and a computer and an internet connection. We don't have to, and there's people that do. You do need some way of communicating with your people. And that's about it. And $100 a month order, 100 points a month order. That's it.
Maybe just reiterate to people that never goes up as you become a crown or
Yes, it's just, that's it. Yep. That qualifies you for everything.
And that 100 points is a tax deductible figure because you have to spend that to make the check. So that's your rent, that's your key money, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to buy a business, well, you've got to have your business in a shop. So you go to the real estate and he leases you your shop and he says, here's the key, and that's going to cost you $250 a week rent. That's your 100 points. And you get products on top of that for your 100 points. So
right.
They're giving you the key to the shop and then they've stocked your shop.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is an amazing business. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Don't forget. What are you saying?
Do you think blogging is a good way to help build the business and build contacts?
If you're a blogger and you are comfortable blogging, blogging's great. It's a form of communication. My only caution with it is that some of these people that are bloggers and heavily involved in that, they don't follow through with the more like the webinars and some of the specific things so that their people feel that support. That's the only caution. Right, yeah, it can become very less personal. But blogging is great, and then be very cautious to stay compliant. That's it. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm curious to know when you started the sessions at the health food store, and I guess the health food store helped you to publicize that. How did you structure those sessions? Because no doubt you had people coming off the street.
Depends on who came in.
Yeah.
I had somebody in the bank across the street who amazingly told me when she came over, I prayed the night before for an answer for something, and I'm in the bank, and God told me to go across the street and ask about oil. Just so happened that I was just setting up to teach about essential oil. She thought she was going across the street to talk about vegetable oil. And it was exactly what she needed for the issue she was dealing with. Now, that kind of stuff makes you think, you know, you really are being guided to do this business and it's your responsibility. But I always listen to what I would talk to the people that came for a minute or two. You're setting up, you're communicating, you're finding out who's there. I was in San Francisco one time. I had like 12 people in a class. It was fairly early on when I was building. And I, for whatever reason, just felt to talk about my kids that had, two of them had just given birth not that long before, and you know, how it was an easy experience because some of the oils helped with oxygenation and helped them feel really good, and how the Ningxia Red gave them a lot of strength during labor and delivery. And it turns out of those 12 people, which I did not know any of them, they were all either pregnant, a doula, or a midwife. And they didn't know each other. You know, there's always a theme to a class. That's the best way I can describe it. And if you listen, your class will give you your theme. Have a few products that you know inside and out because they're your products and you love them and you have that passion for them. You start with those.
That's what I was going to say, because the breadth of the range is so large.
Yeah.
That it takes a lot of educating yourself, I guess, to have that confidence to be able to talk confidently about it. It feels really big.
If you sign up on a Monday, you can teach a class on a Tuesday. The reason being is because you know one day more than anybody in your class.
And the class can be 2 people at house, in their house or your house.
Right.
You don't have to have a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing how that works.
And going back to those products that you mentioned, people don't do what you do. They do why you do it. They don't care if it has this or that in it. They just know you like it and they're going to try it.
Right.
So
And
it's not about a lot of education.
yeah, it's about experience.
A lot of the time, my experience personally is that a lot of the time you just speak to people. It's only when someone has their own story. So you could teach every product and you don't know where their story will come from.
Right.
So very often it's one little thing that someone will have a story about. And so you need to share your story.
Yeah.
Okay, so ask them.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant information.
But there's a lot of stuff on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
I found quite a number of Jerry stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, so you can educate yourself. You don't need to go anywhere to get educated in that area. Yeah.
Well, also to keep it legal, tell people to look things up and give them at least 3 references. Give them 1 and you're not compliant. Give them 3 and you are. You want to make sure that that you give them a few options just to investigate themselves.
I think if you just give like a very quick synopsis on what happened with the legal changes and why you're talking now about compliance.
Sure.
It's become more of a buzzword for us because there is an obligation now that we have that once upon a time we didn't have to take so seriously.
Guess what? The laws are not different. They've been around for more than 30 years. They've been on the books. What happened is that social media started and people started putting things, publicizing things that on the web. And the web, by the way, the law says the web is like a label, and there's very strict laws about what you can put on a label. And these, whether it be a blogger or Facebook or Instagram or whatever, people started saying a whole lot of things that made a link between disease and cure. And the reality is nothing heals the body but the innate healing system and the creator, period. I didn't have to take anything down on mine because I've never talked that way, because I don't even believe it's true that there's anything natural that cures anything or anything synthetic or chemical medication that cures anything. We only work on supporting that natural healing system. And of course, the creator created what we like. So that in itself is good. So what they did is they ended up creating this energy with some of the stuff they did. And then some of the competitors that have been teaching the old British model of only oils all have to be diluted and only in massage. And some of those people, I'm not certain, but I believe may have hired people to call the FDA to file complaints. They get, the FDA has told us that they're getting complaints of 300 to 500 a day just from a single person. So it's not that there's nothing new. We never wanted anybody ever to make a link between a product and an illness. It just doesn't need to happen. And yet people did, and it created problems. And because of that, they now are saying, hey, look, we don't want somebody to be Googling and finding your stuff and have somebody complain about you. And now as a company, we have to show the FDA, or what's your group here in Australia? TGA, that we have slapped this person's hand, because that's why the company has to be strict, because they will be shut down if they can't get control of us. And the thing that just amazes me is that none of it needs to happen anyway. So like I said, none of it is new. 30 years ago, I was with a company, 30 years ago, amazing, was with a company because it had a single product that was excellent, and it said that it was raw, and raw was better than cooked. And then it said that it was like a couple, well, those statements were against the law. If they had simply said what was in it, that they said it was raw, the person make the association, it would have been legal. But they were required to relabel everything and recall what they had taken out. They didn't have the money to do that. The company went under. So I knew those rules, and I never had that stuff on my web whatsoever. It wasn't necessary.
That's what the meeting was about that I went to. And if they hadn't agreed about that, I walked away and never came back to come back. But it cleared all that up. And I thought, okay, there's integrity that, you know,
Exactly. Well, and how do we even know when somebody talks about a miracle that it's not just their head got on right and we're able to receive the healing? Because I think that's how we heal anyway. We get in alignment with health and we become healthy. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. We are 3 minutes between done. So is there any last questions? Yes, sir.
What were some of your biggest aha moments?
Oh, gosh.
Single out just a few, like 1 minute?
Well, I'd say the biggest aha moments is when I started getting letters from people, you know, basically saying that their whole lives are changed. You know, the realization it wasn't just me. It wasn't just me. And, you know, you'd be in a class and pass around an oil and passed around, remember Three Wise Men? I'm in Hong Kong teaching a class. And in fact, the class started in Hong Kong because this woman had come to a meeting I had in California. Basically had to fight her way back in at the Whole Life Expo to see me because they had actually closed the doors. I was the last one that spoke. So the fact that she talked to me at all was amazing. And I was doing a class right afterwards. She changed her airline ticket. She's sitting in class. We passed around Three Wise Men. And about 2 hours later, she goes, wow. Yeah, Vicki, what's up? I used to pay a lot of money to feel like that. Now, I never asked her what she used to spend that money on. But it was really, you know, it's like those, you realize that these oils touch people, that the supplements touch people. Yeah. We're getting our picture taken. Yeah. How you doing out there, honey bunny?
Awesome, man. I'm enjoying Australia.
Yeah. He's, yeah.
Watch out for the lizards.
The drop bears. Then we got drop lizards.
There's a big spider right there. Yeah, there is a big spider right there. He is cool looking. One with a big fat body.
Fangs.
Huh?
Big fat fangs.
Yeah, look at him. I don't know about fangs. He's like whitish. Like,
Yeah, they're the old spiders that can peer out of in 10 minutes. They're the ones you walk into.
I'll call it to an end now. I think since we've got lizard mania happening.
Can I just ask you, you said at the beginning when you say something about a dog?
I was going to do what now? I'm sorry.
A dog with the oil.
Oh, sure. A dog with, sorry about that. When I was first starting, a friend of mine called up and said their dog was diagnosed with a hematoma along the spine. So it was really sad because the dog was 160-pound Irish Wolfhound. wolfhound, so it could not walk because of this. And they said eventually it would reabsorb, but they had to carry this huge dog outside to go to the bathroom and come back, and they really were desperate to do something. And we did like a regular raindrop just to see if that had helped. But what was fascinating is the dog was not interested in the physical oils, would lift its head, smell them, lay its head back down. But the emotional oils, it tried to eat. It wanted the emotional oils so desperately. And that was some of the early times where I realized that they work with anyone or anything. The animals are just as sensitive as we are to the emotions, and we
Works very well with horses.
exceptionally well with horses.
Yeah,
They
we
were gonna-
actually have a raindrop for horses.
Yeah,
So
we
any animal, it's a living entity.
we had a trainer call. We had a trainer call there. They had a horse that they were going to put down because the insurance money was worth more than what the horse was at the time because it kept stumbling. It was for like the dressage type of horsemanship. And this horse would stumble 5 or 6 times around the ring. And they just weren't seeing results with it. And also, too, the other horses didn't like it. You know, if it got near the other horses, they bited it. And I didn't know anything about it, and there was nothing written about animals at that point in oils. And so I just brought out some oils, and we let the horse choose. And the horse chose lavender. And we put lavender on his ears. Lavender, by the way, is for father issues. So we don't know what his stud was like, but obviously he thought he was unloved. And they put lavender on his ears, and within moments, the other horses came over and started nuzzling him. And the next time around the ring, he stumbled once. So huge, huge change. Again, nothing physical. We did nothing on the physical level. We only assisted it with the emotional. So yeah, those were fortunately very early experiences. And so it just added to the confidence we had that we may not know what to use, but if you offer it the child or the person or the animal, that they'll usually choose, if not 100%, they'll choose what they need. It's probably one of the little flying things, you know, so.
You only want to nibble.
Yeah, yeah, it was amazing. Why, what are you seeing? Yeah.
Why do you have bugs that want to kill you here? What did you guys create? Seriously. Yeah, it's like crazy. Everybody wants to eat you and kill you.
We don't.
Right, yeah.
Keep everybody else out. That's why I'm going to keep on
There you go. We want to do everything in our power to excite all of Australia. And you guys are the group.
What's it going to take? What do you need from us so you guys can be great? You just came here and spanked you, right? That's what you got. Love.
Yeah, you can tell he's really timid and shy.
He has a wealth of information himself.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometime we'll have a special Mark Day. And he'll talk about quantum physics and
Oh, yeah, that's more of that.
yeah, see? Yeah, right.
I've given him a boomerang.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Okay, so we'll finish off. The last thing is, for those people who are leaders, they would have got a text message from us on the weekend reminding them that there's a webinar on for leaders on the 13th at 8 o'clock Sydney time. So if you haven't got one of those, but you've got a leader here, or you know of one of your leaders, ask them to pass on the link, because we're actually sending the, I think Alina's probably sent the link out already now for tomorrow. Anybody who actually wants to do Young Living as a business, and anybody who is at least senior star rank, I'd like you to come on the Wednesday night. And then after that, it'll spread out to
undo
everybody
me.
else. But we need those ranking people to come on, so we'll give them some feedback. Our daughter, Alina Zellen, said went to Platinum Club. She came back with a really interesting concept. So we're going to share that with the leaders and pass it on to you guys. So if you've had a text, it says on there, yes, this one you can invite your leaders to. So normally they're a closed group for the business builders in certain ranks, but this is open to more. So if you've got someone you know who's actively wanting to build, then get them to come on board and we'll tell you all about it tomorrow night. So, and if you don't get a link from a leader, then contact us because then we'll personally send you the link. Okay?
So who wants to build a lifestyle instead of a job? Yeah, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
This is the truth of young living right here, right? Some of us get it.
How to get us back?
We can leverage it.
Let's see some growth here. Let's see some real excitement.
Just invite us.
You guys.
Really that simple.
Okay, don't tell them that. We want something from there. Do you know, we were by the new offices.
Yeah, we get
It's very exciting. You guys are going to, you guys are in the right place. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous.
I reckon in 2 years we'll
Sydney's the
outgrow
right
it.
place.
Yeah, exactly. No. Just that it's, yeah,
Looking good.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's looking very good, and there's a lot of excitement, and it looks bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and, you know, just nice energy.
There will be one so you can do real cool.
Yeah. No, things will be really, really good.
And by the way, that meeting room there, right? Up to 70 people, you get to use it for free. Check that out. So you can have meetings there. There's a bunch of rooms for smaller meetings, and I'm sure my voice could be heard.
Probably true.
And as well up to 70. And it's free to you guys. And as long as you keep it open, you know, so when you're taking the initiative to stand up and say, by the way, I got a story to tell you, and it's going to lead to your financial freedom and wealth and prosperity. When you're doing that, Young Living will assist you, though. You can advertise. So if you really want to step up